Well, greetings of Sunday. Happy Sunday, everybody, and welcome to Sunday School. I don't know what this is, a Clifton's Cafeteria cup. I don't know what it said on the other side. But Clifton's Cafeteria in Long Beach was a place that we frequented when I was a boy growing up in Long Beach, and it kept going for a long time. It was a true cafeteria. I don't know why I'm talking about it. I guess it reminds me of Sunday. And somehow or other, we got that Clifton's Cafeteria cup. Anyway, speaking of Sunday, yesterday we talked about the sun and moon, and the idea that there are things that transcend duality, sun, moon, male, female, and that transcendent thing that smashes duality is really the spiritual source, and what we're truly shooting for. So the arguments between different types of magical operations, you certainly can do a sun operation or a moon operation that deals with the inner workings of the sun as opposed to the moon and things like that. But and of course planetary things and elemental things, and of course they have their when you drop down into those levels of consciousness, they certainly do have their dualities. But I was perusing the Oyas the other day, because I shared one with you, and this one also fell out. And 33 years ago, back in 1992, our lodge printed up, I guess we had this one printed, maybe not in our garage, but we had this one printed up quite nicely, because it was a treasure, and we didn't screw with it very much. And there's the back of it. It is Liber 963, The Treasure House of Images, by Captain Fuller, Captain JFC Fuller, and he was a captain when he wrote this. Now, Crowley had great respect for the Treasure House of Images here, Liber 963. Had great respect for Fuller as a poet and as an individual who was talented enough, gifted enough, if you want to use that term, much like Crowley, to be able to pour out in words and verse and the intense spiritual yearnings of a true mystic. You see it in the Hindu scriptures. You see it in more recently in Paramahansa Yogananda's metaphysical meditations. But Fuller was a mystical poet on freaking steroids. Okay. He had a vocabulary to match Crowley's. Okay. And not only that, he had the only word I can describe it is Kabbalistic mastery of organizing thought. And in the same way that the Kabbalah organizes ideas, organizes thoughts in a pure mathematical, pure, clean way. And that pours over into tarot. Tarot organizes it too. Okay. So when Fuller would feel free to pour forth his soul in song, his yearning for God, really. When he pours it out, he organized it in the same way that he would organize troops into companies and battalions, and it was so organized, it was so clean, and it allowed him to, in a pure Kabbalistic way, have a structure for an unstructured. It gave him a left hemisphere structure to hang his right hemisphere yearnings, his ecstasy. It was like organized ecstasy, organized bliss. And so he did a chapter. Oh, it's so organized. There, all of the zodiacal chapters, they have the same number of verses. They have the same number of syllables per verse. And there's a line for each of the astrological ones assigned to every zodiac sign. And so in the Aries chapter, at the beginning of the zodiacal ones, the Aries chapter, the first line is Aries, and the second line is Taurus, and the second line is Gemini and Cancer, and so. But the next chapter is the Taurus chapter, and it starts with Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Okay, and so on throughout the whole thing. Can't you see how it enabled him? That structure enabled him to jumpstart his thoughts, because he's trying to pour everything into, say, the vessels of the zodiac. He also has other chapters for the sun, the moon, and he's got 169 adorations. It's just magnificent. And if you've never read The Treasure House of Images, you can sit down and read it like, no, you read it year after year after year after year, one thing at a time. Here's what Crowley had such respect for this that he wrote an introduction. Well, it's not even an introduction. What does he call it? He calls it a note. And his note, Crowley designates a Class A document. The note is a Class A document, not to be changed in style or letter. The Book of the Law is a Class A document. The Holy Books of Thelema are Class A documents. And this note upon Liber 963 is a Class A document. And here's what it says. Let the student recite this book, particularly the 169 adorations unto his star as it ariseth. I'll digress for a second. In this case, the star is what you identify as a star. Astrologically, one would think that that would refer to one's rising sign. They actually, in archaic astrology, they would refer to zodiac signs as stars too. But you could have the rulership, the planetary rulership of your zodiacal sign, or whatever it means. I'm not going to try to interpret that because this is a Class A document. So, let the student recite this book, particularly the 169 adorations unto his star as it ariseth. 2. Let him seek out diligently in the sky his star. Let him travel thereunto in his shell. Let him adore it unceasingly from its rising even unto its setting by the right adorations, with chants that shall be harmonious therewith. 3. Let him rock himself to and fro in adoration. Let him spin around his own axis in adoration. Let him leap up and down in adoration. 4. Let him inflame himself in the adoration, speeding from slow to fast until he can no more. 5. This also shall be sung in open places, as heaths, mountains, woods, and by streams, and upon islands. 6. Moreover, ye shall build you fortified places in great cities. Caverns and tombs shall be made glad with your praise. Amen. And then it begins with the treasure house of images. That's Crowley's. Here beginneth the book of the meditations upon the 12-fold adorations and the unity of God. Okay. And then it starts with, instead of Aries, it starts with the chapter known as the perception of God that is revealed unto man for a snare. And he assigns that the image of the moon. Now, I'm not going to read this whole one because Sunday I'm going to do the sun. But I just want to give you a taste of the Kabbalah of Captain Fuller. I adore thee by the 12-fold snare and by the unity thereof. So there's 12 lines and the unity thereof. Okay. Well, in this particular case, it looks like there's only 10, but there's 3 zeros that head it up. I'm going to read those zeros because Captain Fuller, in his crazy exaltation, is tackling the concept of the 3 kinds of negative that precede one. Ein, Ein Sof, or Ein, Ein Sof, and Ein Sof 4. 3 kinds of nothing that is almost impossible to conceptualize with your meat brain and explain or understand with your meat brain and explain with your wagging tongue. Okay. But wherever Fuller was, Now, I would attempt to say whatever Fuller was on, but I'm not sure if Fuller was on stuff. Okay. Ain, or 000. In the beginning there was naught, and naught spake unto naught, saying, let us beget on the nakedness of our nothingness the limitless, eternal, identical, and united, without will, intention, thought, word, desire, or deed. It was so. 0. Ein Sof. Then in the depths of nothingness hovered the limitless, as a raven in the night, seeing not, hearing not, and understanding not, neither was it seen, nor heard, nor understood. For as yet countenance beheld not countenance. 0. Ein Sof, or the limitless light. And as the limitless stretched forth its wings, an unextended, unextendable light became, colorless, formless, conditionless, effluent, naked, and essential, as a crystalline dew of creative effulgence, and the fluttering as a dove betwixt day and night, it vibrated forth a lustral crown of glory. Crown is the title of Kether, number 1. Oh, I'll just tease you a little bit here. And out of the blinding whiteness of the crown grew an eye. This is number 1. Okay. Like unto an egg of an hummingbird cherished on a platter of burnished silver. Crowley would make fun of Fuller later in life when they sort of had a falling out, and he'd say many adjectives removed by Aleister Crowley, but I tell you, those are sour grapes, unworthy or undeserved, in my opinion, because it's Sunday. This is the one toward the very end, second to the last one. The chapter known as the Twelvefold unification of God and the unity thereof. Now, instead of going through the zodiacal signs one by one, each line here, like Orpheus, like the singer, Orpheus, Rodney. But the first Orpheus would sing literally about everything in the cosmos, as if everything in the cosmos was a shard of God itself, that was worthy of worship, worthy of a song, worthy of praise, of worship, of adoration. You know, he'd talk about everything. He'd talk about the to the trees, to the winds, to the brooks, yeah, to the bugs. Fuller's like this, and he's got it broken up into. If I can just okay. Sings of the water, then the fire, then the moon, then the dust, then the air, then the cloud, then the star, then the lightning, then the earth, then the pole star. Then, let's see, the maiden, let's see, the sun. Okay, so he sort of takes those in order. Are you ready? 1. Because this is the chapter known as the Twelvefold unifications of God, where it's all put back together. Remember, the moon at the beginning was the snare. You're snared into manifestation. Okay? This is the unity. 1. O thou unity of all things, as the water that poureth through the fingers of my hand, so art thou, O God, my God. I cannot hold thee, for thou art everywhere. Lo, though I plunge into the heart of the ocean, there still shall I find thee. Thou unity of unities, thou oneness, O thou perfect nothingness of bliss. 2. O thou unity of all things, as the hot fire that flameth is too subtle to be held, so art thou, O God, my God. I cannot grasp thee, for thou art everywhere. Lo, though I hurl me down the scarlet throat of a volcano, there still shall I find thee, O thou unity of unity, thou oneness, thou perfect nothingness of bliss. Can you hear the mantra of this happening? O thou unity of all things. 3. O thou unity of all things as the moon that waneth and increaseth in the heavens, so art thou, O God, my God. I cannot stay thee, for thou art everywhere. Lo, though I devour thee as a dragon devoureth a kid, there still shall I find thee, O thou unity of unities, thou oneness, thou perfect nothingness of bliss. O thou unity of all things, as the dust that danceth over the breast of the desert, so art thou, O God, my God. I cannot seize thee, for thou art everywhere. Lo, though I lick up with my tongue the bitter salt of the plains, there still shall I find thee. O thou unity of unities, thou oneness, thou perfect nothingness of bliss. O thou unity of all things, as the air that bubbleth from the dark depths of the waters, so art thou, O God, my God. I cannot catch thee, for thou art everywhere. Lo, though I net thee as a goldfish in a kerchief of silk, there still shall I find thee. O thou unity of unities, thou oneness, thou perfect nothingness of bliss. O thou unity of all things, as the cloud that flitteth across the white horns of the moon, so art thou, O God, my God. I cannot pierce thee, for thou art everywhere. Lo, though I tangle thee in a witch gossamer of starlight, there still shall I find thee, O thou unity of unity, thou oneness, thou perfect nothingness of bliss. O thou unity of all things, as the star that travelleth along its appointed course, so art thou, O God, my God. I cannot rule thee, for thou art everywhere. And lo, though I hunt thee across the blue heavens as a lost comet, there still shall I find thee. Thou unity of unities, thou oneness, thou perfect nothingness of bliss. 8. O thou unity of all things, as the lightning that lurketh in the heart of the thunder, so art thou, O God, my God. I cannot research thee, for thou art everywhere. Lo, I wed the flaming circle to enshrine square. Excuse me, to the enshrouded square. There still shall I find thee. Thou unity of unity, thou oneness, thou perfect nothingness of bliss. O thou unity of all things, as the earth that holds all precious jewels in her heart, so art thou, O God, my God. I cannot spoil thee, for thou art everywhere. Lo, though I burrow as a mole in the mountain of chaos, there still shall I find thee. O thou unity of unity, thou oneness, O thou perfect nothingness of bliss. 10. O thou unity of all things, as the pole star that burneth in the center of the night, so art thou, O God, my God. I cannot hide thee, for thou art everywhere. Lo, though I turn from thee at each touch of the lodestone of lust, there still shall I find thee, thou unity of unity, thou oneness, thou perfect nothingness of bliss. 11. O thou unity of all things, as the blue smoke that whirleth up from the altar of life, so art thou, O God, my God. I cannot find thee, for thou art everywhere. Lo, though I inter thee in the sarcophagi of the damned, there still shall I find thee. Thou unity of unity, thou oneness, thou perfect nothingness of bliss. 12. O thou unity of all things, as a dark-eyed maiden decked in crimson and precious jewels, so art thou, O God, my God. I cannot rob thee, for thou art everywhere. Lo, though I strip thee of thy gold and scarlet raiment of self, there still shall I find thee. Thou unity of unities, thou oneness, thou perfect nothingness of bliss. 13. O thou unity of all things, as the sun that rolleth through the 12 mansions of the sky, so art thou. O God, my God, I cannot slay thee, for thou art everywhere. Lo, though I lick up the boundless light of the boundless and the not, there shall I find thee. Thou unity of unities, thou oneness, thou perfect nothingness of bliss. And they all end up with this little tag prayer, the glory. O glory be unto thee through all time and through all space, glory and glory upon glory, everlastingly. Amen, and amen, and amen. So that's our visit with Captain Fuller today. Again, I'm reading from Liber 963, The Treasure House of Images by Captain J.F.C. Fuller, with a note at the beginning by Aleister Crowley in Class A. This can become a magician's tool. Anyway, that's it for today. Um, I would remind Constance that it is No Dirty Dishes Day, but every day at the DuQuette house is No Dirty Dishes Day. So I just, it is. It's National No Dirty Dishes Day. So that really grasping at straws for national holidays. Anyway, until tomorrow. If you are in the Sacramento area, if you're the regular Monday night magic class, there will be Monday night magic class here in Sacramento, and we will be doing probably at least 1 month, perhaps a little more, on the exercises and the meditations and stuff included in the Tarot Architect. So if you have your Tarot Architect, please bring it along, because it will be the textbook for Monday night class probably through June, and maybe even a little later. So until tomorrow, for the order of Monday morning, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.